Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. There is a very interesting story, a story that has been captured by almost all mainstream media houses in Kenya. It's a story on removing the presidential term limit. An older member of parliament revealed that there are plans within Kenya Kwanza to remove presidential term limits. Let's have a look at the story. Yes. Nation. Politics. UDA MP reveals plan to remove presidential term limit. Our UDA lawmaker has revealed plans to seek the scrapping of the presidential term limit, noting that the cap should be on age, not of service. Fafi MP Salah Yakub said some UDA lawmakers are working on a constitutional amendment bill to replace the two-term limit with an age limit of 75 years. Should the MPs have their way, they would give Dr. William Ruto, the sitting president, the leeway to seek re-election for 4 terms or 20 years. Dr. Ruto is age 55 and has not indicated any intention to contest beyond the current term limit. Mr. Yakub, who said there have been closed-door discussions on the proposal, however, refused to divulge the names of the MPs behind the new development or whether it has the blessing of the UDA party top brass. Mr. Yakub said that what is remaining is for the proposers to sit and draft the constitutional amendment bill and forward it to Parliament. He first made the comments during a relief food distribution drive in Garissa County over the weekend, where he said, "We want to tell Kenyans that the limit on 2 terms should be relooked. We want it to be changed to an age limit where when one gets to 75 years, then he or she cannot contest. We will come up with an amendment bill to try to change this because we want the requirement to be on age limit and not terms. If a president is doing a good job, then he or she should not be limited by the terms," he added. Repeal of Section 2A. The 2-term limit came into effect ahead of the 1992 elections following the repeal of Section 2A of the old Constitution. The 2020 Constitution maintained the presidential term limit. According to Article 142 of the Constitution, the President shall hold office for a term beginning on the date on which the President is sworn in and ending when the person next elected President is sworn in. The article goes ahead to state that a person shall not hold office as President for more than 2 terms. The timing of such a proposal, coming only 3 months after a hotly contested presidential election, could raise political temperatures. At his current age, for instance, President Ruto would be eligible to contest in the 2027, 2032, and 2037 elections if the term limits are replaced with the age limit. A proposal of such magnitude, however, would require the proposer to marshal a 2/3 majority in both houses of parliament, as well as a simple majority of Kenyans in a referendum. Yes, that's the story, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, as usual, I want us to dissect that story to see what it means politically and the games being played behind the scenes. If you are rewatching us but you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Please. When the gods want to destroy a man, they first make the man mad. It's clear there is total madness in this government. Yes, let's dig deep to understand the game plans being played here. Yes. For that member of parliament to come out in public to make those kinds of remarks, it's very clear that this is an issue they have deliberated in order. And most likely, those sentiments have got the blessings of William Ruto himself or his very close associates. That comes out very clearly. So this member of parliament is just picking out what they have so far discussed. And now to Fafi constituents, this is your rogue member of parliament. Do the needful by recalling this rogue MP. His continued stay as a member of parliament is doing this country more injustice than the actual justice. Recall this rogue member of parliament. And now, can that kind of a plan go through? If you look at it objectively, that's a move that will never see light of day. And I'm saying that because of some reasons. If that kind of a move goes through, then it will mean William Ruto has locked out all the current crops of leaders from ever contesting for the presidency. And the reason is simple. They will be too old by the time William Ruto will be retiring. They will be too old after those 20 years of William Ruto's rule. New leaders and young leaders shall have emerged up by that time. For example, Raila Odinga by that time will be 97 years old. Kalonzo Musyoka will be 88 years old. Mudavadi will be 82 years old. Rigathi Gachagua will be 77 years old. Wetangula will be 86 years old. I consider they will be too old to rule by that time, and the new leaders obviously shall have emerged. So these leaders themselves, both in Azimio and in Kenya Kwanza Alliance, will most definitely mobilize their troops to thwart that kind of a move. That's why that kind of an idea might not see light of day. And then secondly, even assuming that Kenya Kwanza as it is, were to mobilize all their elected leaders, even with Rigathi Gachagua mobilizing his supporters to support that kind of a move, even Mudavadi supporting that kind of a move, it will be very hard for them to get 2/3 majority in the National Assembly. Because they must get 2/3 in the National Assembly, they must get 2/3 in the Senate. And I'm saying it will be very hard for them because we saw that during the Speaker's election. The highest they could get were 217 members of parliament. And now for them to get 2/3, they will require 232 members of parliament in the National Assembly, which technically I'm not seeing them getting. Getting that will be very hard for them. So that's also something that will just thwart that. So in my honest opinion, that's just some kind of a wishful thinking. That's a move William Ruto and his team are deliberately employing to achieve some political objectives, which I want to explain here. The first objective by that member of parliament making those remarks in public, it's clear that those remarks might be having the blessings of William Samoei Ruto. And the first objective, why that member of parliament is saying that, they want to divert attention from the current political situation and the economic situations Kenyans are going through. Ruto and his team, they know they have not delivered. They know Kenyans are angry and very much annoyed. So they want Kenyans to forget about that, to concentrate, to talk about 2 terms limits. And I'm saying that because if you look at William Ruto's team, they are very good when it comes to propaganda. This is just one such kind of a propaganda by William Ruto and his team. They want to divert attention. And also, if you look at it very objectively, I'm seeing a William Ruto's team who are trying to create an impression of immortality, that the government is there to stay. The government is going nowhere. And the reason is simple. William Ruto and his team, having failed to deliver, they know that Kenyans might be annoyed with them. So they just want to discourage Kenyans who maybe have even started now thinking for their removal. They want to discourage and dissuade such kind of Kenyans that this government is going nowhere. It's here to stay. That's also a clever brand of politics Ruto and his team are trying to create here. They are just trying to dissuade or to discourage those Kenyans that irrespective of what you are saying, this government is there to stay. I'm seeing that as also a clever political trick by William Ruto and his team. And above all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also seeing a member of parliament who is just greedy. He's just trying to seek the attention of William Samoei Ruto, maybe for his own personal interest. And that's why it's important for Fafi constituents to make sure they recall this rogue member of parliament. This is a leader who is in parliament to serve his own personal interest and gains. He's just there for that. So he wants to attract the attention of William Samoei Ruto. Those are the game plans, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing being played here. And I don't think I've forgotten any. Yes, I don't think I've forgotten any. Those are the game plans being played here, ladies and gentlemen. As I conclude, those remarks also just goes on to show that this is a government that clearly has its priorities wrong. Instead of thinking of, or rather instead of putting in place things that will make the lives of Kenyans better, they are talking about removing presidential term limits. They are talking about, or rather they are thinking of entrenching dictatorship in Kenya, something that Kenyans had forgotten so many years ago. They are planning of bringing that back. Instead of serving Kenyans, they are planning the negative. That shows the desperation in this government. A government that clearly has its priorities wrong. That's why Azimio should by now have started going around the country calling for the removal of this kind of a government. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. As usual, if you want to support our channel, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel any kind of a contribution to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis.